What's going on, guys? So today I'm going to introduce you to my brand new DIY animatronic. This year, with the rising cost of everything, the massive inflation we're seeing, I decided instead of just buying all kinds of animatronics behind me, I was going to build my own. I've always wanted to build my own, but I've never really actually went out and have done it. So I went and I purchased all the items that I needed to online. A couple things I bought from Fright props and various sources online. Bought all the motors I needed. And then I started watching a bunch of different videos on how to make bodies for them and bases, just to make everything stand up so this thing doesn't just move and fall over. But it's been an absolute blast to build one of these. Kind of frustrating at times too, because just winging it and not really knowing what you're doing. There's no blueprint. There's nothing to go off of. You're literally making this thing from scratch. There's nobody you can really call and ask. It's just all got to come out of your head to make this thing work. I don't have a name for him. He's pretty much 90% complete. I haven't 100% finished him yet. I'm still piecing him together here and there, but for the most part he's done. I figured I would just get a video together on him since he is mostly there, and basically the wall that's left is just a little bit of touch-up stuff. It's made out of 2x2s, PVC piping, and a couple sheets of plywood for the base. I just figured some of the wood would be a sturdier base and then go off PVC for the most part. 5'8" to 6 feet tall. I wanted him kind of taller, but I just started watching YouTube videos to get a basic idea of what I really wanted to do with this guy. I was going for more of a leather face look. Obviously he has the cut up face with the blood and then this bloody apron, which I'm going to go through and add some more of this this perma blood stuff on here, and same with his hands. But anyway, I'll go through, show you everything, and then I'll undress him and show you the whole body and mechanism and everything, and then I'll show you how he works. But the hands, I just bought these on Amazon. They were like $9. His shirt I bought at Goodwill. I do have a video on my channel of how I distressed it all, but I bought it at Goodwill and distressed it. Same with his pants. I bought some nice Dickies pants or Dockers or whatever these are, and just kind of tore them up and rubbed them around in the dirt and spray painted them. And he's actually got some really high-end boots on, but I just kind of put some spray paint on there, cut a hole in the end of the hands, shoved the PVC pipe down inside, and hot glued it. His mask I bought on Amazon for 20 bucks, and then I tore it apart and foam filled it, which I'll show you when I take him all apart. His chest and everything is a body form I took and made out of eBay tape, so basically packing tape. And I made the form and stuffed it with bubble mailers and bubble wrap and just kind of everything inside there, and just taped it all up so it stays inside, because the main mechanism's inside him. And then his apron I found on Macari, which I thought was really neat. So somebody had made this, and then I purchased it because I was going for that leather face butcher kind of look. So I'm going to lean towards his name's going to be like the Butcher or something, but I didn't want something cliche. So I haven't named him officially or done anything. This is just the basic gist of him. He does stand about 6 feet tall, 5'8", 6 feet, somewhere in there. I'll go ahead and turn him on. I did have some mishaps the other day. I went to plug him in, pull him out, because I wanted to do some more foaming and stuff his arms up so it looked a little more realistic. And the actual motor fell off. So it's just been trial and error to try and get it back to where it was, because he had a really cool motion, and now it's not so much. But there is just a wiper motor in there that I bought from Fright Props. The kit was like $65, I think, and it came with the adapter and everything to plug and play. And all their motors are already done. They wire them a certain way, so it's just a continuous motion, where a normal wiper motor goes a little bit and then reverses. This is all done, so he just spins in a circular motion. That's all he is. He has no audio. I don't have any of that done. Eventually, me and a buddy are going to team up, and we're going to do a chip, because he's really good with electronics. So we're going to team up and do a video on that. And he's going to program some audio to this dude and some animation so he can move and have sayings and stuff. I'll record the audio with him, so it'll be my voice and whatnot, and then we'll doctor it up to make it sound really cool. And it should be really sweet when it's all said and done, but it will not be done for this season. I will say that. but he did say the piece was only going to cost like $20. So I'll go ahead and plug him in, and then after I show you a demo of him, I will go ahead and take all the clothing off and show you what just the bare bones skeleton looks like of this thing, and then walk you through what I did and how I did it. Before the motor fell off the first time, he had more of a thrashing motion, and he wasn't so cockeyed, but it is what it is for now. I can live with this. So I'll go ahead, unplug him, and then I'll just start taking some of this stuff off. The apron just ties on and velcros around his neck. And then the apron comes off. T-shirt, regular t-shirt like anything else. Buttons up. It is kind of tight to get on and off, because now I fattened his arms up a little bit, so it's kind of a pain to get through. It's not 100% done. I still need to, I'm just kind of in the trial and error stage right now. Like I said, he was thrashing a little bit more, and then the motor fell off. I didn't secure it 100% the first time around. I just kind of added some zip ties on it where I got it where I wanted it, and I forgot about it. And I never went back through and did the final bolt down for it. And like here, it thrashes, like it hangs a little bit. And when he was thrashing, his arm would sling around a little bit more. But I added a pool noodle, so I don't know if that's hindering it a little bit. Shouldn't. I'm going to try it without the shirt on. I think some of the shirt is binding up too. See, his arm's supposed to flop, so I think the shirt's kind of hindering some of the movement as well. And then also like this patch of bubble wrap's kind of messing with him. As far as his head, it's just a PVC pipe there. And like I said, I foam filled this. I just used Loctite foam. Put that in there. You really have to babysit it or it will deform the whole face, but this thing is solid. It's got some kind of squishy to it, but it's not going to deform. But I just wanted his head filled up, so all I did was just kind of duct taped all the holes inside his ears and eyes so it didn't ooze out in his nose and stuff, and then just put some foam in there, and then I cut it down, drilled a hole out big enough for my PVC pipe to fit in. And I like this mask because it had the chest piece. So when you put this on, it drapes down. You can see through the shirt and you see this. So like a regular mask wouldn't have that like chest piece to it. Like if I were to use this one, obviously I would have to make something in here, and I didn't want to do all that. So I just found a mask that would fit and cover the whole chest, and then I had something cool to look to. Again, I got to go through here and add this perma blood to darken it up, because as you can see, the blood I originally put on, and then you can see the factory, what it looked like from when I bought it, and then I went through and just added some dye and stuff to him, kind of dirty them up, and I just kind of dusted some kind of spray paint over top of it, some browns and greens, just to give him a dirty look, because it was a really nice clean mask and it kind of looked weird trying to make it this bloody butcher type guy. As far as his pants, I have screws holding it all in place, and I guess I guess before I take it all apart, I should show you how I have it on there. So basically I have this like board fit to his pants. So that was kind of a pain to drill down, use a jigsaw, get it sized right to the size of the pants. But that's how it looks with his pants there. Show you down below. Looks alright. I need to go through and kind of stuff those up. Here's his arms. I just used pool noodles, and this is all PVC, and it's just in an L. And then I have the zip ties right there, as you can see, all that. So it just kind of, it's free flowing. Then I have pool noodles doubled up, and then I have bubble wrap there to give him a nice bicep. But when you put a shirt on, it kind of wants to stick to the side of him. So I gotta figure that out. Yeah, you just kind of heat up pool noodles, and then this is the body form that I made out of tape. That's just all tape. Nothing too crazy, but it gives it a nice shape, you know, the human body shape. But I will go ahead, finish taking the pants off here, and I will show you what's underneath. And I made the pants to where I can screw them on and off. So if there's an issue, I can get in there, take it apart. I'll take the pants down here and I'll show you what I did. So inside here is the motor. This is just a wiper motor that I bought as a kit, and then it has the adapter that goes into 12 volt, and then obviously you have this plug plugs into that right there, and then that plugs into the motor. And then on the motor you have kind of just this little ball inside there, and this PVC pipe just sits on top of there, so when it spins, I'll show you that, but it rotates when it spins. So I have it kind of where it originally was. It's not quite 100%, but I just took some old 2x2s I had laying around and mounted those in between, mounted some in between here to sturdy them up, and then screwed this piece of plywood down, and that's his waist. And then I have, I don't know, these are like 3 inches, 4 inches maybe, these pieces here. And then I have a big hole cut in here so this thing can rotate in a big circle down here. And then up top is a smaller circle with a piece of wire through it. Now the point of the wire is to keep it, because once you put this thing and turn it on, it's going to spin 360 degrees all the way around. It's just going to rotate. So I have it set to where he can only rotate so far. See, that's all the more he rotates. It's not very far. He rotates way more to the left than he does the right, but his main position, he's kind of forward, so the wire just holds it in place. Then I just have it screwed down, wrapped around and screwed down. Same with back there, I just have it angled. So he's angled more to the right, and that's how he has his weird stance. But you can position that motor any which way you move. That motor is going to change everything. Since my motor fell off the other day, now the wood's squeaking, it's rubbing. The noise you hear is this actually rubbing on here. That's what you're hearing when it's squeaking. So you can actually, but if I reposition it, it's going to change everything again, and it's just the smallest movement changes everything. So I have it kind of where I want it. I'm going to leave it alone. This is what he looks like from the back side. And I just used a big piece of plywood, and then I took some L brackets down inside of his boots. If I can get a shot of that, I don't know. But I absolutely can't take his pants off. But there's kind of the L bracket. I screwed way down through the boot into the wood, and that's what holds him to this base. And I mean, he ain't going anywhere. If he falls over, he's definitely going to withstand the beating. And the only thing that might happen is it comes off of this, which isn't a big deal. But he's definitely sturdy, and he's well built. He ain't going anywhere. And then inside, I can't really show that. But inside of him, I just have the stuffing, bubble mailers and whatnot. And then basically it just comes up through his back. And then it's just a T right here, as you can see a piece of it. And I have a big 4-way right here. I have a T in his back. And he has, it just comes off to the end. I have everything screwed together right here. And then a pole comes up just a little bit, as you can see there, and his head mounts on that, and that's it. I just have that little bit there mounted on the motor. And then this whole idea here I found on YouTube. I just kind of tried to copy someone else's idea, then make it my own, do my own thing. So my movement is similar to theirs. It's not 100% spot on. Like I said, every little millimeter you move this motor changes everything in a wide span on this whole animation of it. But as you can see, I just kind of wrapped pool noodles on there and then wrapped electrical tape. Now I use zip ties at this shoulder joint and also at this elbow. I do need to cut some of this. I see that they're binding up. But if I cut some of these down, I have quite a bit of excess here. But if I cut some of these down, his arm will flip around a little bit more. But the point of the zip ties is a more free-flowing zombie-like animation. And that's what I was going for here. So his arm kind of bends around and moves. But like I said, it's not 100% done. I'm still going through and kind of tweaking it, because this is going to be a never-ending thing you're going to mess with, tweak around, make it your own. It's my own project, and I'm going to be super picky with it, and I'm not going to be happy with it ever, probably. But I just went through, stuffed the end of this PVC pipe into this hand, and then hot glued around it, and then put the foam pool noodle here, just to give it kind of like the forearm look. And then, like I said, I puffed this up with the bubble wrap and pool noodles, and gave him kind of like a shoulder piece here, just to fill out the shirt is all I was really doing. But all in all, I think I have around $100 in this guy between the PVC, which I have a ton left over because I plan on making more, and I don't know, a few dollars in pool noodles. Nothing too crazy. I got $20 in the mask, and then the motor and adapter was like $65. And then I also have a speed controller I need to work in there. All in all, I'm really happy with how this guy turned out, and for making my very own first animatronic, not knowing what the heck I was doing and having absolutely no idea on how to build one of these or what I need to do. Just sitting here fiddling around with putting this motor in the right spot to get the animation that I was looking for. I'm pretty happy with how it came out, obviously not knowing anything about what I was doing. But once I get with a buddy of mine and we get some audio recorded for it and get the chip installed, get all that done, I think it's really going to pull this whole thing together. And then once I obviously solidify this and get some hardcore wraps on there so that motor doesn't go anywhere, he will be done. But obviously if I put a strobe light on this dude, he is super freaking scary. So it is absolutely 100% possible to make your own animatronics, and for a low cost. I mean, if you have masks laying around, obviously you don't have to go buy a new one. You can get a can of foam fill it. If you don't want to foam fill it, you can use a foam head and just have it kind of flop around. Now eventually I would like to have some kind of spring in his head, so his head kind of has an extra motion. I was just trying to loosen everything up to give it more animation than just moving in a circle. But you can build this for extremely cheap. You know, pool noodles are about $1, $1.50. These hands were like $10 on Amazon. You can use old boots like I did, go to Goodwill and get some clothes, or if you have old clothes laying around, and then if you go to a junkyard and get a motor or just buy the kit, you're gonna have, under $100 in your own custom prop. And it's just gonna take a little bit of skill and just some figuring out. Now, I'm no geometry major or anything like that, so making all this was just straight up off the whim, just trying to figure it out. And that's all I was doing. There's a whole lot of trial and error, but for about under $100, you could have your own animatronic, and you could make something completely badass. Like this guy, I honestly would put him up against most of these other ones as far as looks wise. Now, as far as his animation, obviously some of these have some cooler animation. Yes, they talk and all this stuff, but eventually I can have this guy doing all that as well for around $100. You can gore him up all you want to do. You can customize the absolute hell out of this thing and make it your very own. And obviously you can do that with these, but there's only so much you can do going off of the bare bones. But making this all the way up from the ground, to me, is something that's better than going to spend $300 at Spirit Halloween and buying something off of there that's already done. To me, making my own and customizing it and tweaking it the way I want and doing everything my way is worth its weight in gold to me, versus just picking something up off a shelf that 10,000 other people already bought. And to me, this is just more of a creative outlet for me, because I'm a very creative person. I like to make things. I like to tinker around with my hands and whatnot, and I just like to create things. So making this guy my very own first animatronic, I'm really happy with how it turned out, and I hope to see some of you creating your own animatronics. Like I said, for under $100, you can make something completely badass that nobody else has. So nobody else in the world is going to have this specific animatronic. It's not going to look exactly the same. Yes, a bunch of people could go out and buy the same mask, but it's not going to be painted the exact same way that I painted it. I dirtied it up my own way. I painted the blood on it, and I'm not done yet, so there's going to be more blood and gore. Same with the hands, more blood and gore on that too. I'm super happy with how it came out. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope some of you get out there and build your own animatronics, because this was my very first DIY animatronic. So get out there, try your hand at making one. It's not extremely hard, and I know with the cost of animatronics going up here in the near future, or actually already, and I can imagine even in the future they're going to be even higher. So getting out there and making your own animatronics, making it your way, making it 100% you, is going to be way better than just buying some shit off the shelf. So get out there and make something, have some fun, get out there, create, use your brain, use your own creativity, because the sky's the limit. You can do whatever you want to do. If you like Halloween content, DIYs, unboxings, or just Halloween in general, make sure to click the videos popping up at the top of your screen for some more awesome Halloween content. Until next time, my name is Jordan. Thanks for watching.